I was like, look, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And I had to be very specific. And I realized that that's part of my spiritual work too. Like when you put out to the universe what you want, you have to be very specific.
That part. Welcome everyone. Today we are here with the wonderful Nikki Helms.
Wonderful.
The wonderful Nikki Helms. And she is going to tell us about her birth center that she has here in San Diego, how she got started into the practice, yes, and all about birth work and her experiences. So we are so thankful to have you today. Can you start with your introduction to birth work?
Sure. It was in, 2003 when I trained to be a doula through Doulas North America. A friend of mine asked me if I would be her doula at her birth, and I said, I have no idea what that is, but for you, I will do what you need.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started, and I went to her birth, and I had no idea that my life was going to shift so dramatically. So
yes, so the pendulum definitely took itself into that direction. I love it. And what was your drive to then become, a licensed midwife?
Well, because I think that, for me to be a doula was wonderful, and I really enjoyed it, but I really felt like I could do more, and I could do more good. And so I got the opportunity to go to nursing school, and then I got the opportunity to go to midwifery school in the same week. And I had to determine, okay, well, what are we going to do here? And I felt as though midwifery school offered me the opportunity to do more good, get out in the community, and get my hands on people a lot faster, and do a lot of good from the outside, because I think for what I want to do, trying to be a nurse was like trying to steer an iceberg. It takes forever, and I can't do it by myself. So, hi, Puddin'. You gonna come say hi?
Yeah.
Hi, Shorty. Oh, you're gonna change your mind halfway through this. I just know you are. I saw that look on your face. Hi. Hi, shortness.
So why would someone choose you to be their midwife?
I don't know. I'm kidding. No idea. Am I funny? Well, I mean, I think people choose me, based on who I am, and getting to know me and talking with me. I feel like I do a very good job of being very pragmatic about what we do with things in birth. Things that don't need to be done don't get done, And there's not really a whole lot of you need to do this or we're going to do that. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of back and forth. Out of hospital birth clientele really need to be a lot more participatory in the process. So, we ask a lot, and I think that when someone decides to choose me for their midwife, they are looking for a collaborative care model. And I also think that they're looking for someone who, has a fairly wide amount of experience.
Yeah.
And, someone who sees birth as a normal, natural process.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. That's so important.
Right? Of course it is.
And then what was your kind of drive or the turning point for you to open up a birth center? It's one thing to have your own practice, but to make it a...
it wasn't a turning point. It was always the thing. I was like, okay, so this needs to be done. And I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know when I was going to do it or where, but it needed to be done. And so my partner, my midwifery partner, Darren A., owns Birth Roots, which was a Black-owned birth center.
In Chula Vista.
Wow. And I trained with Darren A. Oh, look, I made a friend. I trained with Darren A. when I was in school. And when the idea just kept coming up that I needed to open a birth center, I went to her and said, hey, would you mind if I asked you some questions about how to do this? And she was more than willing to mentor me and to take me kind of under her wing, because there's not a whole lot of Black-owned birth centers. So,
That part.
yeah, so she was really amazing in, you know, being willing to take me by the hand and kind of show me. So the more I showed her, like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do, and I want to do this other thing, and I think this will be great. She started to tell me about how she really was excited about the ideas that I had and the plans that I had made. Well, are you just listening to what I said?
Yes.
Okay.
She's all in people's mouths when
That's
they
okay.
speak.
So Darren just got really excited about what my plans were, and she wanted to be a part of it, and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
So we collaborated, and we moved our practices in together, and there really never was like a turning point. It was always like, this is something that I'm going to need to do. I just need to figure out pathway wise how that's going to happen. So
how many years was it from you becoming a midwife and then opening up
a year.
the birth? Wow.
Yeah,
So it was
about a year and a half.
It was like as soon as he was like, boom.
Yeah, I got my license in, May of 2019, and then I just, I was doing my private practice, and I was assisting other midwives in the community, and, just working, just doing the work, and doing some postpartum doula work as well. And then the pandemic happened,
Right.
and a lot of the other midwives that I was working with in the community got really busy, because a lot of people decided to kind of shift their view on hospital birth, and they wanted to have their babies at home. So we got really busy. Hi, Billy. And a friend of mine knew that I had this GoFundMe that I had put out for the birth center, and I was like, well, we'll just see what happens. And she took it upon herself to really drive that home and to get it out to the, social media influencers. And so once it started to really catch fire, that was when I was like, okay, well, this is going to have to happen, because all these people have given me all this money, and they're going to expect some products. We got to do something about that. So
wow, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
And what was probably the most challenging part of just that process?
I think finding the appropriate space itself, because this space that we're in right now is probably the 5th or 6th place that we had investigated and looked at. I had gotten excited about it, a couple of different other places, and just felt really devastated when they didn't come through. But what I think has been happening was that, people didn't really understand what a birth center was and how that was going to work. And so once I finally got a hold of a broker who turned out, I had a male broker, and then when I went to my female broker, I was like, look, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And I had to be very specific, and I realized that that's part of my spiritual work too. Like when you put out to the universe what you want, you have to be very specific.
That part. That's one of my favorite quotes in The Alchemist. When you take a step on your personal legend, the entire universe conspires to help you with that. So it's like,
but you have to be very specific, and then you have to do the work. You
That
can't
part.
just wait around for it to happen.
That part. Because a lot of people are like, oh, manifestation doesn't work. Like, the opportunity presents itself, right? But you have to take that step afterwards and make it happen. So I'm so thankful that you have created this space for so many women to birth in comfort and still feel supported. So that is so amazing. Do you have any advice for, birth workers that are just kind of getting into the field or not really sure about it? Anything for them?
Don't hesitate. Just go do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Just start.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it, and then you'll find out whether or not it's for you. And I am a very strong believer in the fact that the people that are supposed to be where they are will find their way.
Yes.
And so if being a birth worker is what you want to do, and the universe says, oh yeah, this is where you're supposed to be, then things like this can happen. The door, not that doors necessarily open, but I knocked on a lot of doors. And I asked a lot of questions, and I asked a lot of the universe, but I was also not willing to not do the work. So. But it was definitely a leap of faith, no doubt. No doubt. But I mean, if you feel like you're drawn to serve women and advocate for their, women and birthing people, advocate for their choices, advocate for the birth that they want, then this is something that you could definitely do. What the difference is, though, is that we're not in birth work to run the show. We're in birth work to offer support and to offer advocacy and to, stand sentry at a birth, basically. We're not there to tell people how to do stuff and run things.
Absolutely. It's really following the birthing person's, natural tendencies and just kind of supporting them with that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, what was your question?
Any advice for pregnant people or pregnant mamas about just the birthing process or...
Be very specific about what it is that you do and don't want, and then let your team know.
Yeah.
So that, because they are able to be better advocates for you and with you if they know what you want. And it helps if they know how married to those ideas you are. If you're flexible on some things and not flexible on other things, you still have to be very specific about what those things are.
Yes. Bless you. Yes. Thank you.
Of course.
And then how can we support you moving forward?
Well, the GoFundMe is still active. It's called, if you search GoFundMe, it's under San Diego Community Birth Center. And then we have a little PayPal donate button on our website, which is sdcommunitybirthcenter.com. S like in San and D like in Diego. Birth Center and communitybirthcenter.com. Bless you. You almost got a face full, Mama.
I know.
Yes, you did.
I know.
And then, people will often make direct donations. There are several providers in the area that make direct donations to us every month, which is amazing. And then we also have a wish list on Amazon that you can go on Amazon and send us little goodies and presents, which is always fun. So we're still here, and we are an active part of the community, and we want to make sure that we're serving everybody and making sure that people understand that midwifery care is going to be accessible to everyone.
Yes, and that is the goal. Just bringing, for me personally, I just want women to bring back that ancestral knowledge that has been lost for so many years because we stopped telling our own birth stories, and then from not telling our own stories, we just forgot all of the knowledge that we have known for so many years. So if any of you are looking to, or if you're in the San Diego area and you're looking to birth in a very comfortable, very supported environment, I would definitely recommend this wonderful community birth center that we have here right downtown. And it is owned by Nikki Helms and your partner?
Darren A. Blunt.
So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and you are definitely an inspiration for a lot of the San Diego community, and we see you, we honor you. So thank you
so much. Oh, Pumpkin, you look tired.
Yeah, she kind of cut her nap short.
Well, it happens.
Duty calls. Thank you once again for tuning in to this episode with Nikki Helms. It was such a pleasure to sit in this space with her. Be sure to press that subscribe button and click the bell. Hit that like, give us a thumbs up, and we do post weekly. Subscribe. See you next week.